to see if some people will join us initially.
Okay, so the stream has started, so you're going to see it on your... Should I join on my account for my phone like I usually do?
Yeah, that would be helpful. And then where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Welcome to our world, where we can't stop falling in love. Hello. Hello, hello.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now I can see us both. Hello, Dainei.
Hello, Hannah, darling.
We are calling ourselves the Birthday Sisters because we have the same birthday. This is my lovely guest, Dainei Tracy, a fellow author in my Unbound Network community of writers. And we are here today on this solstice to have a little cozy celebration, share our writing, dive deep into ourselves, and then hopefully have a little bit of a discussion afterwards. And if there's any questions or anything, we'd be happy to take them. Dainei is very new to Twitch, and we are giving her introductory Twitch stream today, bringing her into our fold of creative entrepreneurs and people who are bringing their magic to Twitch and the worldwide community. So thank you for being here, Dainei.
Thank you for this birth into another way of getting things out and about. Yeah, thank you.
For sure. There's been such a overwhelmingly supportive community here on Twitch. Really beautiful people and all different types of creativity here. And so I've just loved seeing the different types of collaborations and friendships that are being formed. And the different conversations that we've been able to have, even though we haven't met in person. Just like Dainei and I have not met in person, but we've definitely established a very close friendship, I would say, closer than a lot of people that I've met in person.
And we talked thinking, gosh, no, it's true. You haven't met in person.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
One day that will happen. But I just love that we're able to do that we're able to replicate this cozy atmosphere and have these conversations and share in this way. I always love our conversations and love hearing Dainei read her writing And so before this, we were practicing, and it was the first time we had seen if what we were writing was cohesive to share together, and it flowed together just the way that I thought that it would. And so I'm so excited that we get to collaborate in this way. Sharing our writing, I think, is pretty new for both of us. So it's just great to have this type of platform where we can do that. So I wanted to pull out the book that we were a part of, 2020 Vision. I think you can see it right here. And that came out in February. And we were both in this book, and we have each a chapter in this book. And so that was really, I think, the root of our meeting. And as we've been sharing our writing and seeing the overlap, I think it's really interesting just that we live on different sides of the world, and we, are at different generations, and we've, like I said, we've never met and all of that, but then we have these similarities in our personalities, in our energies, in our writing, and we also share the exact same birthday, July 3rd. So I think that's just very, very interesting. Hey, Crack Mother, thank you so much. Thank you so much for lurking and listening. So happy to have you here. I will give you a shout out in a minute. If we're doing shout outs, yeah, but it'll play a clip. But yeah, so anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying, but it's not important. We will. Yeah, so I did want to say also, yes, in my introductions, that also I think in our work, we share similarities, and the feeling of peace is very important to both of us, probably because we hadn't experienced peace for parts of our lives. And so I love to talk to Dainei about peacefulness practices. That's her thing with the yoga, Zen, mindfulness. And I really feel that you bring just a peacefulness to my life. Every time that I talk to you, I feel more peaceful and re-energized. And I'm sure that that's probably how everyone feels when they work with you. But I love that now you can bring that energy to this space. Now I think a lot of people are searching for more ways to find that inner peace and stillness within themselves.
Thank you.
For sure. Yes. So, shall we get into... Oh, I had pulled 2 cards today that I was channeling for the collective, and so I wanted to share those first. I have 2 decks. I have a tarot deck, and then I have an oracle deck, and my secret language of the light deck. Today, the card that came up for everyone, which I feel is very appropriate, is the Soul Journey card. Which is a very beautiful, deep card there. And I wanted to read just a little bit here. You are ready to start. A new chapter is beginning for you right now. This time, go easy on yourself. Be the courageous, loving being you are. Breathe into the present moment and allow any anxieties to drop away. Enjoy the journey and stop thinking the future will bring something better. When the future arrives, it will be now. Step out of the shadow of your past. All that matters is what you decide to do from this moment. Your life is yours to live in whatever way is meaningful to you. You brought yourself to this life, and you were responsible for the quality of it. Trying to understand your reason for coming here will just hold you back. Just remember, everything you have done was the best thing to do at that time, or you thought it was. As you move forward, you will understand your motives. Experience allows you to better handle crisis. You are now deliberately creating a new chapter in your life. You are such an amazing pioneer. I thought that was such a wonderful card because this is exactly what we've been talking about.
Yes, very much so. Dreaming forward.
Yes, yes, with purpose and with intention. And then I also, for balance, I asked for an oracle card. These cards, my shaman's oracle, they give you basically spirit guides to guide you along your journey. And so today I pulled the Dancer of Joy card, which I thought was very appropriate also.
Ah.
And the Dancer of Joy says, I am the dancer of joy. I dance for the very joy of being alive, for the wisdom and sense of fulfillment that are everywhere around me. Through the fluid movements of my limbs, I can help you to discover the paths you must take as I fling myself with great abandon in a circle until I am ready to fall down. My arms stretch out, and my fingers point in the direction you must take. There can be no standing still in life. I must always be moving onward in my eternal search for joy, so tread this path with me. Joy is one of the oldest states human beings encounter. The dancer in this image shows us a sheer, unbridled fountain of life, bursting forth and transforming everything it touches. Joy enters us at moments of heightened awareness, of delight and passion, of truthfulness and hope. It carries us far above any other feeling or experience and establishes within us a core of energy that is always there to be tapped. Embrace the dancer of joy and let this figure carry you on an endless wave of ecstasy. Learn the joy of living and let it radiate from you, spreading out to all those around you. And it gives interpretations, and these words are delight, awareness, hope, happiness, transformation, lightness of being, inclination toward light, divine presence, experiencing pleasure, acknowledgement of truth. Very juicy.
Yeah. Good seeds.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. I think now we start sharing our writing.
Okay.
Do we give? Do you want to give any sort of intro onto how we came about this or this day, or anything that you'd like to say?
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say that every time I speak with you, I feel your very strong, positive energy. That really comes across. So just as a kind of like a communication about the peace thing, and I feel like you're more active or something. It's like you can take that forward, whereas I feel like I'm a generator, whereas you seem to be able to kind of get it out more.
Manifestor energy.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
That's it's a bit like that. So I feel it feels really good because it feels like I can relax about that bit, which I'm not so great at myself. So and so that in working today, I just have no qualms or doubts or anything about anything, and I think it's going to be really interesting because it's going to be kind of seamless. It feels like even though we've not, we don't really kind of know what's
going to happen. Right.
I love it.
I love it too. It fits our personalities, I would say.
Let's jump into the void.
Yes, head first.
Headless.
Headless. Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Releasing the mind, going into the body. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Would you like to start?
Shall I start?
Sure.
So we're going to do, we've organized it. So we're going to read a line each, aren't we? And see what that creates from that point. So I'll start with, dear flames, our time draws closer into now.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't able to hear her anymore. Oh, you muted. Okay, sorry. I couldn't hear her though. Sorry.
Start again.
Sorry, start over.
In fact, I might even read 2 lines now.
Okay.
Dear flames, our time draws closer into now. Our past and future are easing away. Could you hear me?
Yes. On days of raging infernos, worlds can be moved and created from the depths of nothingness.
In this now moment, only we are present as flame. Embrace this experience.
Nothing into something. That is what you do.
Where all thoughts and sensations are like birds flying in the clearest sky.
You are a magician, the magician of your own life.
With our mind becoming us as flame, becoming.
You can try to control it, any part of it, but that will only slow down the spinning, winning wheel.
As the past and future release their energy and our expectations.
You can see it all the parts, pieces, structures, elements, people that need to be in place for those worlds to come into being.
Remember, this is our experience right now.
There is a dance you can do with your shadow, on the edge of silliness and curiosity, and on the cusp of control where it's used to steer your inner ship into your natural ability of authority.
Allow this to settle into this death and birth, simultaneous flame of you.
You are the author of your own life, after all, writing words, creating worlds, manifesting the energy and resources to make it happen.
Feel the unity and clarity of your own light and love, even as the past and future move towards us again and again.
Steering the ship, conducting the train and the orchestra, leading the way by torchlight and song.
We know them as our own insight, telling us about the world, about ourselves as flame.
You've never stopped. You love your soul and the planet so much that you agreed to do all of this.
Allowing the veil of routine perception to melt away.
Be proud. Stand up.
Feeling the unity of all living things as our own life.
Sing, speak, dance, write, share.
And feeling this bliss, we let it guide us through expectation and projections into this, our own dreaming forward.
Pour your love and dynamism out all over and never apologize.
Allowing confusion to gently settle. Come, dear flame, into this now moment.
You are a brilliant star.
We as flame are love, endless energy, potent shadow, ever-changing and beautiful process.
Breathe, release, giggle.
Settle any fears and gently encourage our own surrender into ourselves.
You have arrived.
The living transformation, part of each other, connected to ourselves, joining the living stream.
Beautiful.
That worked really well.
It really did. Wow. That was lovely. Thank you, Dainei. Ooh. I loved how the lines just started to flow together like that. That was really cool.
That's really cool.
Same energy and idea, I would say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. Where other parts go. There we go. Now, what are you feeling now? That made me, it's like an expansiveness.
Yeah.
I feel like an opening here.
Yeah, I feel quite settled and expanded and willing to talk about anything or to go into anything deeper.
Absolutely. I had made some notes of things. I think maybe going into more like our dreaming forward on purpose idea.
Yeah.
I loved how you explained it to me. I don't know if you want to talk about what it means to you, dreaming forward on purpose.
Yeah, I think I've we learn practices, we learn to meditate, we learn to be present. It comes and it goes, and then there's a point where we realize that we are actually creators, and we're part of this creative flame, this flow, and as you said, we are responsible. Oh, it was the card, wasn't it? Being responsible for what the energy that we are generating and manifesting. So, with that in mind, sometimes when we're really maybe completely overwhelmed with maybe feeling quite sad or a bit depressed or angry or any of the what's generally perceived as perhaps negative things, in fact, that is a source of energy that once we realize what's within that, we can use that to move forward. So it's usually a conditioning or something that somebody's put on top of us at some point, or we put on top of ourselves that we got from somewhere else. And it's become a barrier and a block, and our energy's trapped behind it, and that's why we feel that way. So it's understanding that and finding whatever ways we can to tap into that energy on purpose, deciding to do it and doing it on purpose, because only we can do it. Nobody else can tell us to do it, so we have to get to that decision ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think as writers too, we come across that in a whole other way too when we're sharing our words with the world, the words that are really close to us, and then all of a sudden we're sharing those. But then that ends up that the fear. That's where I was going with that. Is that we have this fear of sharing our words that are so close to us, that are our children in essence, and then we birth them out into the world and we don't know how people are going to receive them. And then I think that whenever they are received well, it's just that's that whole feeling of like why we do it in the first place, and why the fear is probably there, because it's something that we know that we need to do. And usually that's how it always is. Every layer of my healing journey, it's like there's parts of ourselves that are scared to leave, but they're not needed anymore. And so we have to find the ways to move that energy through. Otherwise, we will continue to see the same types of patterns showing up, and we will continue to face the same sorts of difficulties. And so I know for myself, especially if I'm feeling resistance to doing healing work, that means that I absolutely need to do that healing work. And I think it's like that with everything, where we try to push away the things that are uncomfortable, when really it's just about recognizing that there is going to be discomfort in every moment, and you can still choose to move through it, so that you become, so that you come out on the other side of that, because there's always gifts on the other side of that.
Yeah. And it's usually those very parts that are made of the fear that come up first. Voices, you know, just like a chorus of voices, and that they show themselves immediately, and we identify with them, and we think that that's us.
Yeah.
And of course they do appear outside as well. That, you know, an actual person might inhabit that energy for us outside as well. But a lot of times we don't even need an outside person, because it's we've got it all inside of us. Our internal family, and those parts pop up first, and okay, be in relationship with them and figure out what the message is, and how that energy can be released into joy, and you know, not, but it's lovely, you know, being happy and joyful and everything like that. That's great, but in fact the things that are in the shadow are full of energy.
Yeah, I think that's where the greatest gifts come from, the greatest creativity also. I think that's where, you know, some of my best writing has come from, my songs, you know, anything that I've pulled, you know, from my emotional experience in my life and turned it into art, you know, just like we were talking about this, I think, the other day with shamanic practices, and how, you know, that's why it's very common, you know, the curandero shamans, where if they're not in ceremony, then they're making art, and they're, you know, weaving something beautiful, or they're painting or something like that. And so like I definitely resonate with that, and I think you do as well. It's like we both have the artist aspect to ourselves also, because there has to be an outlet for that energy. You know, and so it comes out in different ways for different people. For me, it's writing, it's art, it's singing, it's dancing, those things. And I think you have similar interests creatively, but I think you would agree with me that if you don't have those creative outlets, or any sort of outlet, if you don't have that thing, then it just gets trapped in there, and then it's more difficult to discern what's actually you and what's yours when you don't have a creative outlet for that energy.
Yeah. Or some area of expression. It's noticing how we express our internal experience, and where we choose to put that awareness and that energy in the outer world. And you know, in one sense, there's no good and bad. It's obviously do no harm is quite a good thing to go by. But in general, there's no good or bad. It's just noticing what we're doing with our own energy, and whether it is an art or a craft, or a game, or anything at all, really, cooking, anything. It's the quality and the awareness with which we do it is our expression. And when we feel inhibited and blocked, and as though we can't be our real self and our real expression, then we tend to perhaps maybe copy what's already out there for a sense of safety. And I think that bears unpacking, and it bears looking at and getting our own confidence and our own love for ourselves supported more. Find that support somewhere, and create the safe space that we've been talking about as well.
Yeah, definitely. That is what we've been talking about a lot, is safety, that sense of safety, and what it means to feel safe within ourselves, within our relationships, within society, within everything. And in diving into that this year, I realized that I hadn't really known what it felt like to be safe, really, in any aspect. And but that creates a barrier. So it's something that within me that was created to help, right? So it's there as a protective mechanism. And so maybe without that there, I would have had a tougher time in life. Who knows? But now it's with that awareness that oh, it's now it's a barrier. Now it's not something that's keeping me safe. It's not a protective layer anymore. It's actually separating me from all the things that I desire. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And what that energy back, that kind of in this, perhaps in the sense of a bit of soul retrieval. Let that part transform now. It's kept us. It's been perhaps a bit of a protector, or it's kept something asleep so that we weren't overwhelmed. And now that can come back on stream and start to use that energy to help us with this dreaming forward.
Absolutely. There's I think most of us that are deep feelers, we hold on to these things and we keep them as our own. And we take on a whole lot because we're able to, but not because we need to, or not because it's good. And so I think it's just being aware of the things that you gather, and then finding the ways that you notice within your body where they gather, getting out of the head and into the heart more. And so our bodies know the answers to everything. And within us is that navigation system. And so it's either we are in flow or are in resistance, I find most of the time. Like when, so we can feel that in ourselves. And I notice it within myself. It's like solar plexus type of area, like where I know that if it's an expansive, flowy feeling, then this is a good decision for me. If it's a restrictive, tightening kind of, ooh, I don't know, then that's not really something I'm probably going to say yes to right now. And I think that, like, in learning how to recognize that was my own internal navigation system, and recognizing that when I go against that, it doesn't really work out the way that I really would like it to, So it's noticing that I'm either in resonance with that inner navigation, or I'm in resistance because that's not something I need to be doing. And so I find that in working with people, they need to find that place within themselves, wherever that lands, whatever that means, however they feel it within, and then know that and trust it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because we're a lot of time we're only doing what we were perhaps conditioned to do earlier in life, and so we've been taught to not trust ourselves. So it takes a little bit of unpacking, a little bit of kind of inner dowsing. How do I really feel about this? And am I willing to act on my own feelings around it? And I'm like you, my solar plexus is my kind of center of activity. Mm-hmm. But I sometimes do have to bypass it to do certain things because of a kind of oversensitivity. But I'm learning. It's taken a while, but I'm learning to recognize that, and that's fine. Not judging it or anything like that, but moving more and more into my own, like, what am I going to do going forward? Owning my energy and really enjoying that more, even if it is actually going against some of these flows that I can feel, I can sense outside of me. Just going, okay, I'm not actually hurting anybody. I can be confident in where I am right here, right now, and it's fine. In fact, it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And then also using joy and pleasure as a compass has changed my life too. Because I think we're conditioned to be like, oh, well, I can't do that thing that I really like to do until I've done this, that, or the other thing, until this whole to-do list is done, or until whatever. And when really, if you put a focus on pleasure and joy and what feels best to me in this moment, and that's really the flow state, when you can get to that point. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's an art.
Yeah, an art and a dance. It's like, and we're doing it within ourselves all the time. in every moment, really.
Mm. Mm.
And I had jotted down just like random things that were coming to me, just knowing that this discussion was coming up, and the whole idea of safety is what's coming up for me a lot right now. And it's just, you were born into safety. It is yours to hold and to claim, is what I written down. And I think that's the most important thing, like for establishing a new seed of creation for 2022, because safety is the seed of creation. It's the root, from that. But that's basically is the void. It's that that depth, that darkness, that place where it's very fertile,
Yeah.
and where we're growing from. And that's exactly what I see is like just determining that amount, that level of safety within yourself that you need in order to grow, in order to bloom, in order to thrive, and to move into the life that's calling to you, for 2022, whatever it is that you're dreaming to have, in your life, and dreaming to create. Anything is possible, and I think we just allow our minds to put limits on what we're able to create, which is why it's so important to get into the heart space, because from there we truly can create absolutely anything. Just moving to the other side of fear.
Yeah. Finding that nourishment that makes that fear less, and you can kind of look after it like a baby, and realize that it has in the past been perhaps a little alarm system or something like that, and that moving forward can just accept it for what it is.
Like letting go of all the things that we've been carrying that are so heavy. Like, why have we been putting burdens on ourselves that aren't ours to carry? I think that's something collectively that we're moving through right now, as we're feeling the collective heaviness of our ancestors, and of just past everything. And now we are able, within our bodies, we are able to transmute it. We are able to change it. And that shift that we make within our individual selves definitely ripples out. Every single time that I do healing work on myself, I see the ripples every time, because then we're able to, we're filling ourselves up, we're getting ourselves back, we're clean and clear, and then we're able to pour into our lives the way that we're meant to. We're able to pour into people the way that we're meant to, and able to express our energy. And so for me, whenever I feel like heaviness or any sort of yuck in my body, then I know that it's time to like go back to that place and reset. And I think that we've just become so accustomed to how heavy and dense this reality is that we don't even realize that we're carrying it a lot of the time. And then once we do, and then once we realize that we can create from a place of expansiveness and joy and love, that then it's like once that burden's no longer there, you realize how much you've actually been carrying. And it was so heavy. And so I would like for us all to be lighter.
Yeah, but I think we should also honor those members of our society who carry and purge for other members who aren't as strong. And I think that a lot of what's sort of deemed mental health issues are fantastic people who are willing to stay with the suffering, and I think they should be supported and honored.
Absolutely. That's
this is a collective thing. We're all in this together. And okay, some of us might have found some practices where we do feel cleaner and clearer and more purified, and it all comes and goes. Other times we might be in the absolute depths of the great below, because that we're all in it together. So, Um, I just think it's really important that we don't judge each other in any way, because some of us have got harder jobs to do than others.
It's so true. Some of us are able to carry a lot more than others.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that in my life, like being one of the people who can carry a lot, that I have to release, and I do I've carried a lot for people, and then, and then felt it come out, it's like, vomit or, like it can be physical to where you're, the emotions build up and then they can become a physical release. And that definitely happens to me, in my regular life. Just as someone who works with energy, and I think like we all have the capacity to feel those energies. And when you actively work on that, when you actively learn how to sense those energies and move and manipulate them and transmute them and work with them, that's where all the real, that's where we can, our power lies there, when we're able to recognize our own energy and we're able to recognize, the energy of all things and the energies of each individual thing, and then how our energy affects the collective, depending on where we're at, within ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all on the spectrum, aren't we?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's such a bumpy ride, and we have to hold each other, hold ourselves, hold each other together. I think the other day I had this image of like a mirror, like a shattered mirror, and we're all but shattered mirrors helping to piece each other together. Is kind of how I see it, and like we're reflections of each other, and there's shards of ourselves in each other, and we're all showing each other parts of ourselves at all times. And I just think that's like a really powerful visual to imagine us all as tiny little shards of glass and mirrors, and then reflecting and then coming back together to be one whole mirror.
Yeah, and that's making me think of attraction and aversion as well, and that they are actually the same thing, and that the more we become averse to something, the more in fact we are attracting it, and the other way around. And so there's no escape. You can't put a whole bunch of stuff in the shadow and just sort of think you're going to be in the light. It just life is just not like that. And I think it's about time we all really accepted each other.
Absolutely. So maybe some questions. I had written down questions just for people to ponder. I don't know, like what will we choose to let go of now, and what will we choose to step into? Powerful end of year questions. And what beliefs are feeding our fears? What stories are we telling ourselves? And how can we break our purpose free? How can we, I see us all as, I like to use the word torch lights, like we're all torch lights. And then how do we best radiate? And for me, I have this image when I feel at my shiniest, when I'm feeling at my shiniest. To me, it's an image of kind of being at the top of a pyramid, and shining from like the top. It's almost similar to a lighthouse, but I like the imagery of a pyramid with a crystal on the top. And I like the image of being the crystal at the top of the pyramid and having the awareness of my connection to all things that are around me, and 360 above and below me. And then from that place, that's where, so when you're from that place of observation, where you can be, where you're calm, where you're in the present moment where anything's possible, and then from that place where you can see completely around you and You could attract to yourself anything that you could possibly want. That's how I feel like that's what I imagine as like ultimate creation energy. That feeling, because from that point of safety, of calmness, of source connection, then anything is possible from that point. And so that's how I like to imagine it. For me, it's like a visual is very powerful. So
Yeah. Yeah.
to have that visual and to get myself back into that feeling while meditating, just, oh, okay, because we are the top of our pyramid, we are the top of our mountain, we are we are masters of our own universe, right? And then we are collectively co-creating this experience that we want to have with each other, and that at any moment we are able to shift that too, which I think is so beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. And the more of us that are doing all of this work, the more available it becomes in the collective.
Yes, definitely. And then the more we have these conversations too, that it's okay to talk about the dark stuff, because that's how we get to the good stuff. It's like it's going through the tunnels to get there, and there's nothing wrong with us if we spend time in the darkness. There's nothing, because like you said, that work has to exist also. It's the as above, so below.
Yeah. It's where the treasure is. Yeah. And I think a regular practice of actually evoking some of the shadows, some of the notoriously unattractive things like shame and blame and guilt and fear and hatred, all of those things, we all have them all, and it's best to not be in denial, and to sometimes invoke them on purpose and express them with ourselves in our own safe space. Just express them, and then we'll become less afraid of all of it and give it a chance to air, be in space, and transform. And it's a bit like you're doing anything energetic, you access your core, but you have to totally accept whatever arises first from the core. And if it's something you don't like, well, then you have to practice even harder with it and engage with it more strongly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would you say your the first step is to dancing with your shadow?
A regular practice, at least once a week. Yeah, on purpose. And see what energy's in there. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a real treasure.
Definitely. Yeah, last night I was feeling heaviness, like I told you, like in my darkness, blackness, like in my chest, and heaviness, and I was struggling, and it was like, oh, the density of this planet and this reality right now is too much. That's how I was feeling, and so I had to, go back to that place for myself. And then in that inner journey, it was a lot about like how there's just been too much focus on apologizing for who we are, and just releasing the need for that collectively is what I was working on, because we don't need to carry that shame around anymore, or that heaviness of guilt from past generations or whatever it is that we're carrying around that we still feel. And like I told you, I had gone into I had a vision of the I always say it wrong, Ho'oponopono poem, whatever it is, the
Hawaiian.
yeah, the Hawaiian prayer, thank you, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And so last night it was very much the awareness that we must abolish the second half. like really, okay, we've spent enough time apologizing for who we are. We spent enough time saying like, please forgive me, and we say sorry all the time. Like, too much. We're just apologizing for taking up space. We're apologizing for the things we say, and we're trying so hard to say the right thing and do the right thing and be this to all the people, when really we only need to be that to ourselves. And thank you and I love you are enough. And thank you and I love you are all that exists. And that's all we need. And so then in my journey, it was just seeing, thank you and I love you, and thank you and I love you, growing and growing and growing, and I'm sorry, please forgive me, just shrinking off into the background, because we don't need that anymore. It's not serving us anymore to stay in that small place of separation of like, I'm so sorry and you're above me, when it's really and I love the Maori. There's a Maori phrase that they don't say I'm sorry in the Maori language. They say aroha mai, which means I give love back to myself. And I just think that's so beautiful, because that's exactly what it is. It's like if you feel that there's an error in your ways, or you misspoke, or you did something incorrectly, or you upset somebody, it's give that love back to yourself. It's not saying I'm so sorry to whatever because I've done wrong. It's more just, oh, I recognize that, I give myself love. And because from there you're able to move on rather than carrying that around, because I've spent many years just ruminating over all these different scenarios and situations, and being like, oh, I should have said it like that, or oh, I shouldn't have used that word, or that person thought I was so weird, and those things happen, but then we can carry them around and we can hold on to them, and then those can make future interactions weird, and we do all kinds of things like that to ourselves, beating ourselves up, and almost just always in a state of apology. And I just really feel that right now is this time of transformation where we're changing that. So it is only thank you and I love you. And that is now from having that experience last night and feeling so in that, feeling the power of that, and the power of being in the present moment, and really feeling what that feels like for me inside. Right now in this moment, I'm only paying attention to this one thing rather than letting my mind take over. It's just that's the intention for 2022, is to no longer apologize. It's to only say thank you and I love you, and see how far that takes you, because I feel that it's going to take me really far, eradicating the I'm sorry from my language and from my energy.
Yes, it reminds me of something that happened a month or so ago, where I was unpacking it a little bit with somebody, and about a certain incident. I said, well, actually, this certain thing is unforgivable, and because there's nothing to forgive. There's nothing. It's not about anything that happens outside, because it can only be about what's happening within us. And sure, lots of shit happens. Lots of really bad shit happens.
Absolutely.
Maybe relationships are a little bit about some kind of giving and taking around that, but mainly it's what do we do with it inside our own selves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then also, I think we've been too serious too, because like I feel the true nature of the universe is playful, and we've lost that childlike spark too as a whole. And so I feel like also in the release of the shame, the release of the feeling like we have to apologize, we are also freeing ourselves up to have more fun, to play with each other more, because we are more accepting of each other, and we can be in those realms more with each other. I'm feeling very strong, like co-creation and collaboration this year is how we're going to make a lot of really beautiful, amazing things happen. And I'm already seeing it and already feeling it. And so anything that makes you feel inspired to do something like outside of your comfort zone, something that lights you up, that's fun.
Yeah.
Is the the signpost, like is the hey, pay attention to this. And so I think that's definitely going to be a focus for me. Is like, oh, well, what's most fun right now, rather than what do I have to do today.
Yeah. Oh.
Because we're like that, right? We get stuck in that, I have to do this and I have to do that, and I'm doing this and doing, right? And so in your work, you're teaching people how to be, you know? It's the being, it's the beingness, it's in the beingness where most of it actually happens, not in the doing.
Yeah.
Whew, that was good.
Mm.
Thirsty.
Cheers.
Yes, cheers. Cheers to the depths of creation.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that you're feeling called to bring into the space?
Feel that we've covered a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose if I was just going to speak for perhaps my own energy and intention for 2022, I think I'm carrying on something that's just started sort of this last season, really, which is this moving into more embodiment of whatever wants to be expressed, and finding ways, creating ways to facilitate that more for bigger groups of people as well. So I've birthed myself a bigger drum.
Love that.
So that I hold bigger space, and I'm very much orientating towards that because it helps me, and then it seems as though it draws the energy along, and that feeds into this idea of the dreaming forward and creating, so that, you know, because with everything that's happening in the world, there's a lot of things that can be inhibiting and depressing and overwhelming, and think, well, just little me, as I'm only one, and there's all this other stuff happening, and there's all these arguments about it and polarities about it and everything, which is always going to be like that. So what do I do with all of that energy? And can I draw that energy? Can I embody it and then transform it within me and take it forward? And that's what I'll carry on working on. Into 2022 and beyond.
Beautiful. So you do group work as well as individual?
Yes. I'm trying to do group. I've done a few Zoom groups. I'm trying to do them in person as well. So I've been traveling around the south of England doing that a little bit. Awesome. But if not, Zoom seems to work just as well, because if you can create the right safe space wherever it is that we are individually, then, and that's a good practice to do anyway, to get a sacred space in wherever it is that we live. So yeah,
it definitely is.
Works, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. And Dainei is new to Twitch. She just joined today.
Literally 10 minutes ago. No.
10 minutes ago. Yeah, right before. If you would give Dainei a follow, she will be joining us here more regularly, bringing us her magic, writing and art, and what else? You had a whole thing there that I loved that you wrote about yourself.
Nice interactive noise, not exactly music.
Noise. Expressive noise. I like that.
Dante to help me with anything actually musical.
I posted her link in the chat.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
And if anybody in the chat has any questions for Dainei at this time, I guess you could ask. Would be a good time.
Yes, if
We
there's
have a
any
bunch
questions.
of people just lurking and listening right now. So
yeah, that's fine.
But we can make this video available on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
later.
the video will be available on YouTube. We'll probably also, be available to answer questions. We'll see the questions if there's any questions posted anywhere under the video, and so we will take those for sure, because this is an ongoing journey of discovery. Every day, we are learning more and more about ourselves.
Life.
Right? No one's excluded from this. Sorry.
Collective. There's no escape.
Nope, you're on this ship. I love it. I love it. Oh, thank you so much for being here, Dainei. It's been a pleasure to have you, and I hope that we can do more of these. I think I loved the layering of our writing. That was such a fun exercise, so I would like to try that again.
Choose or get suggestions as well about what to write around.
Yeah, and we can take suggestions too. That's another thing that we can do is if anybody has a suggestion for what you'd like to hear us write about or talk about or co-create with our writing, we would absolutely take those suggestions. Let's see. Oh, Crackmother says, this has been a great stream. I have really enjoyed listening to these discussions. Thank you, Diana and Dainei. Oh, thank you so much, Crackmother. Jedi says he agrees. Thank you, Jedi. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you joining us for this conversation. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. So there will be more of these types of discussions, and I will absolutely be having more Dainei on my stream. I love having you here.
I'll get more mine when I can figure out how to do it.
Yes, we will. We will do that. It would be fun to do a co-creative art stream also. Where maybe we're both making art at the same time. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be really cool. Like Dante can play music in the background, and then we could choose a topic and then paint whatever it is and see what happens. That would be cool.
Okay, great.
All right. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. All right, my darling. That's great.
Thank you so much, Dainei. Have a wonderful evening. I know it's nighttime for you. Enjoy your solstice evening, and I will be in touch. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for being here. We love you. Please follow Dainei if you haven't already. You're in store for lots of magic and following her. Thank you so much, everyone. Love you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was lovely. I guess we can go on a raid, huh? We can go on a raid.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm fixing everything.
Thank you, Deo.
Thank you, Deo, for the sounds.
Thank you for being here. Yes.
Sounds were provided by Deo today.
Hi, Jedi. Thank you guys so much.
Deo is a huge supporter of the stream, y'all.
Yes. Deo helps us out with a lot.
He's our number one. Well, we have a lot of number one. We have a lot of thanks to everyone.
Everybody's been really, really helpful in helping and pulling this whole thing together.
Yeah, you don't even know.
It's insane.
So thank you so much.
Thank you
for the
so
subs,
much
the follows,
for everything.
Do we got a cheer?
I'm going. Oh yeah, we have applause. Oh, I want to do
If you're
shout
just
outs.
here, if you're just here,
To our
let's do
people.
shout outs.
I would like to do shout outs now because our people are here.
See, they didn't see me now.
Can you see me now? Oh, look at you. Like you're on top of me.
Oh. Okay.
Oh. You can see your guitar. That looks silly. Okay. We're going to do shout out for Crackmother.
Oh, hold on, we don't have sound for that.
No.
I can get it.
Oh.
Oh, the video. My video is covering her video, so that was a snafu. Hi, do you can? Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, okay.
I tried crack mother, and now all I can hear is me laughing.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Oh, okay.
My video is covering up her video, and then I can just hear her laughing, and it's hilarious.
Okay.
That was funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
I think it's because my video. It's okay. The shoutouts aren't going to work
it.
properly.
They will. You just have to wait just a minute here.
That's so funny.
Can't find your camera. Okay, there it is. Okay, now try it.
Okay. Maybe it'll pull another crack mother clip. Let's see what happens.
If you say crack mother, yeah.
Don't play, don't try. Don't try, okay? All right, you guys are like, shut the fuck up.
That's hilarious. I never know what's going to pop up on the clips. It's like, that's so funny. Let's try. Let's see what happens. Let's shout out. Do you can?
We love you. What's her name? 62. We love you. Wash a woman. What's her name? 62. We love you. What's her name? 62. We love you. Wash a woman. What's her name? 62.
I love that. It's great. Oh, I love that.
Who else do we have?
Jedi, are you streaming yet? Do you have any clips? Should I shout you out? Do you want to shout out? Not yet. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you guys for being here and for playing along with our silly shout out clip game. You never know what's going to happen.
That was
so
funny.
It's so funny.
I like it.
Yeah, that was a decent clip for you, do you, Ken? I like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Cool,
you know you can manage that in your thing, but
yeah, but
it's such a pain.
There's
so much stuff to do for the stream.
Thank you guys so much for being here today. I know this is like a little different, but I'm so excited to get Dainei on Twitch.
Yeah, she's one of the authors in her network, so it was really cool.
Yeah, her writing is just amazing. She's writing a book right now. I love her writing. It's so good. Well, that's all we had.
So I guess we got to raid
yeah,
now.
I guess we got to raid somebody because that's all we had for today, guys. We will be back soon with our more regular programming for the next couple days. Oh my gosh, Felicia's on. I have to raid Felicia, guys. Okay. I'm sorry. I love her so much. I have to raid her. So that's what's happening.
You guys will like this if you like Diana singing.
She's such a beautiful voice. She's in Canada, and she's my new friend. And let's make sure that she's not leaving.
Jedi knows.
Jedi knows how much I love her.
He knows.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we're going to go to see Felicia, and that's going to be so much fun. Okay, guys. Yeah, she is good. I love her so much. And she's a sweet, sweet person. Raid. Felicia. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to raid Felicia now. See you soon.
Bye. Oh, we didn't do the credits. Okay. You can raid whenever. Rate it.
I already did. We're already there.